Yes. Cavassier for all the ladies here.
2 cups.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Balloon Party, 101 ESPN, a program that is driven by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton, Toyota. My name is Timothy Michael McKernan, and this market is celebrating 25 years of my Hall of Fame presence. Hard to believe there was sports around here before I was doing it.
So you started in Little Rock in 99?
That's right.
Got it.
But was it March 21st or March 22nd, 2000? That was my first day at KMOV.
Whatever day Dick Vermeil moved out.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I guess we'll have to look that up when we call him. Yeah, it's unbelievable. So this whole year is a celebration of me, and I decided on that. And you can call in with your tributes, 314-399-9646. Air Comfort Service, text in, and then the YouTube chat. And MD 2020 says he's ready for it today. Well, guess what? I am too. I want it today, Jackson. The question is, do you have a Little Piddles Wide Berth Wednesday?
You know it.
Do you really?
Yeah.
And we have trivia because we're giving away Cardinals tickets to next week's Budweiser Bash Tuesday against the Cincinnati Reds.
That's right. Yep, we got trivia.
10:45. What is the category today?
U.S. presidents.
U.S. presidents.
Yeah, going with this one. This is a fun one. I'm looking forward to it. People are going to think it's one thing, but it's another.
Ooh, so that was kind of a hint.
Or was it? Meta.
Boy, this is meta.
Yeah.
Jackson's on the 5th level. I've only been able to get to the 4th level. Don Pepe says 25 years of excellence, Tim. Yeah, Don Pepe.
It's true. It's true. It is 25 years of excellence. Here's the 25 more, I say.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I guess. What would
Raise
that
a
get
cup.
me to?
Raise a
72.
chalice.
72 years old, I'd be doing it.
That'd be great. Just hang out, talk it over. 72 years old. By that time, like, you don't even need to speak. They'll just
Make sounds?
they'll just stick something in your throat, and then, like, greatness will come out.
Oh, my gosh, like AI. Like
Kind
an
of.
avatar.
But like
I'll be playing 36 holes in Jupiter, and my avatar will be doing a show in St. Louis.
that'd be great.
Actually, isn't a bad idea. Let's see if we can get that done here. In the meantime, we have the Wide Berth Wednesday and the trivia questions in the YouTube chat, 101 ESPN YouTube channel. The camera is sponsored by the Air Alliance team. Jackson Burkett is sponsored by the Polo Grounds in Huntley. And he has the Wide Berth Wednesday. We've got some great sound today.
Yep. We got some really solid sound.
We've got some great sound. I'm curious what you're going to lead with.
So I'm going to start with this piece of sound that we have. We have Cardinals president of baseball
This
operation.
is the right call. I think this is the right call, even though this Doug Armstrong sound from Cam Jansen and Andy Strickland's podcast, the Cam and Strick podcast, is outstanding, too.
Yeah.
And then you got Eli Drinkwitz sound. You got it all. You did it all today.
We got so the first 3 segments we're gonna start it with an audio clip and then go from there.
Wow.
That's kind of the structure of the program.
Wow, this is making me uncomfortable because it sounds like there might have been preparation.
Yeah, and then the 4th segment's Dior's choice. Who knows what could come.
Sounds like a little Piddles observation deck, and we would just read stats.
No, I have a real take to give in the 4th segment.
Does it involve the association?
It does not.
Does it involve college basketball?
It does not. It's a baseball.
Okay.
Yeah. But let's start off with this audio from President of Baseball Operations, John Mozeliak, talking about the attendance issues that the Cardinals are going through currently. This was on KMOX.
When you see a crowd that light, what is your response to that?
It's frustrating. Obviously, our fan base is not happy with our current product, and they're displaying that, I suppose, by not showing up. You especially look at that vibe you saw in New York, which is just, it's incredible. It's dynamic, and that's something that we've become accustomed to here in St. Louis, and obviously our performance, our record is probably indicative of, why we're starting to see smaller crowds. But, it's something that, from a business standpoint and a strategy standpoint, we're going to have to try to understand what the future looks like from that standpoint. Obviously, we know we're going to have an uphill climb with what the TV market's going to look like moving forward. And so, we're going to have our challenges. And so, I think our side's going to have to recalibrate a little bit. And, I'm still hopeful, though, our fan base will support us and appreciate what we're trying to do. But, I can understand that level of frustration, too.
That's John Mozeliak, I believe, with the great Tom Ackerman, KMOX. That's where that audio is courtesy of. I had not heard that audio. Now, you had it ready for TMA, but we didn't get to it.
Yeah. I think it's perfect for this, though.
Which is your fault.
Yep. My bad.
Thank you. But I
Something interesting there that I thought
there were a few things that were interesting there.
Two things: the uphill climb of the TV market.
I thought that was like the first time there's been an actual acknowledgement to what I've been operating on as a theory as to why they're handling business baseball-wise the way they are.
Right.
And now that I've actually heard it coming out of Mozeliak's mouth, it makes me kind of shudder because I don't know why it makes me shudder. I don't know why, but I'm just like, oh crap.
Right.
Like it confirms what I've been fearing.
Right. Right.
Even my fear is it's going to really impact the way that they do business.
Right. And so to hear him verbalize that.
Right.
Is especially when the question was about the attendance issues, not about the TV, but about the attendance issues.
Because the attendance is reflective of the product, not necessarily. And again, it's not like the product, last year the product was garbage. I'm not saying that this is magical. I'm just making the observation that the team is a game above 500. It isn't a disaster like last year.
No.
Oh, boy.
But also, in the most Mozeliak part of that entire clip, he's saying we're going to need to recalibrate going forward. Like, what do you think he means by that? I'm Drewski right now. What do you mean by that?
I think... Now, I'm saying this, and I do mean this. Oftentimes when I say respectfully, there's a chance I don't necessarily mean it.
Huh?
But respectfully, I think the answer is in his answer, and that is because the television revenue is going to be reduced, and I think substantially, that this payroll that many Cardinal fans do not think is enough as it is actually potentially going to be reduced.
Yeah.
And so if you think it's bad now, we might have to recalibrate.
Just settle in, yeah.
Yeah, how we do business. I continue. There was an article, and this isn't like, let me air out my grievances with Jeff Gordon of the Post-Dispatch. The media in this town is soft. That's not what I'm doing.
Right.
And also, I want to make this clear. I didn't dig into the column. I think it's still on the front page. Yes, of the sports section on stltoday.com. Cardinals fans show that they wouldn't tolerate tanking, I believe is what.
Yeah, I just saw tanking.
You saw that?
I saw tanking was the word.
And I'm like, I don't believe that that's what this attendance is showing.
Right.
And again, about twice in one segment, I will sincerely say, respectfully, because I don't like to rip on media guys and do that just kind of hack 1980s stuff. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying I don't think that we've seen the Cardinals tank.
Right. And
I think that we've seen the Cardinals try and hold the line, and that has been much of the model since 2016. It's like, let's kind of stay in just enough to get in and then hope we can replicate 2006 or 2011. But we're not really going to go. And I think that's what's caused this. Yeah. I think the chickens have come home to roost. I do not believe that fans would ignore the team and not show up. If you want to call it tanked, I'd call it a rebuild. I don't believe that. Mm-hmm. I think if anything over the last handful of days, I think people are like, okay, let Jordan Walker play. Let Jordan Walker know he's going to play. Let Jordan Walker know that if he swings at a pitch and misses it, that he's not going to be benched the next day.
Right.
Let him have that confidence. So good. Okay, the team's probably not in it. Maybe somehow there can be another miracle, but they're probably not in it. So let's see what the younger guys can do.
Yep.
And I think people would be on board with that.
Totally.
I really do. But I don't think that the organization is sold that they are, and I think that's why, because of the uncertainty with the television deal, that they're in this hedge model. But Mozeliak saying that it's refreshing, actually, because it's, I think, honest.
Yeah.
Right. And direct.
So when I heard something like recalibrate, obviously my mind is going to run to does that mean a shift in what's going to happen with management, whether it be Marmol or himself? But the way you laid it out, there also is the chance that he's just talking about we might have to slim down. We might have to do some belt tightening on an already team. Not that they're not spending, but that clearly that the dollars spent aren't resulting in wins.
I don't know. I would love to really, and I just don't know if they would do it on the record, but really have a conversation with both him and Bill DeWitt III, because I just don't know what Bill DeWitt Jr. is doing right now. And I'm not like, where's DeWitt? If he were around, the team would be winning. Just he isn't really the face of the organization at the moment. and try to understand what the thought process is. Because to me, you are so far away from a pitching standpoint to being close to competitive in 2025 that, I mean, if you could unload Arenado, you do it all day long.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I don't care that Paul Goldschmidt has been effective at the plate in the last 2 weeks. It's wonderful. It's nice. We can hope that somehow they win every single game the rest of the way and get into the playoffs. But Contreras might have upped his value.
Yeah.
What's that going to do for you? I mean, he doesn't catch most of the games anyway.
Right.
And move on and turn the page. I really think it's the best move for the organization, especially if they're experiencing financial uncertainty. Because I think that's been Randy Carricker's point dating back to the day of the Sonny Gray signing,
right,
that I guess he caught hell for. I don't know. But he's like, yeah, okay, well, Sonny Gray doesn't make you a 90-win team. So right, what are you doing? Yeah. Have a plan, stick to the plan.
Right.
So I'd be on board with that, and I think a lot of Cardinal fans would too.
Right.
I don't think Cardinal fans are in love with Paul Goldschmidt, Wilson Contreras, or Nolan Arenado. I think Cardinal fans love the game and the heritage of the team, but I don't think Cardinal fans have loved the recent heritage of the team. It's time to turn the page. That's where I would be coming from. So maybe that's the recalibration.
That'd be, hey, listen, I'm on board with that. And maybe run out young pitchers too. Like
Quinn Matthews made his first start at AAA. I think he went 4 innings, allowed 5 hits and 3 runs.
He's put on 4 teams this year. Like, keep moving guys up. And when you look at, like you said, pitching-wise, like, there's no real moves that they can make that's going to make them a viable rotation.
That's the issue. And I think you get into this, oh, they won last night. Maybe they have a chance. Oh, they lost. Maybe they suck. And we do that back and forth and back and forth because they're 70 and 69. So there's a lot of that back and forth. Yeah. And I can do that, and I can scream about some, Siani, I think it was a catch. Whatever. It's great. Here's the issue. This organization has some serious problems, and you can blame it all on Bill DeWitt Jr. if you want, or John Mozeliak if you want. Bill DeWitt III can take over, and John Mozeliak can no longer be president of baseball operations. That's not going to fix the television situation. That's not going to fix the pitching situation. And that's not going to fix the fact that the organization has not been developing young offensive players for a while. So point fingers whatever direction you want, but these are facts. Yeah. Your thoughts are welcome. 314-399-9646. You are welcome to have a conversation on the topic in the YouTube chat. And we are going to continue with the discussion as Jackson has sound next is going to come from Doug Armstrong.
Yep.
Big fan of this soundbite. Great interview. Major recommendation for listening to the Cam Jansen, Andy Strickland podcast interview with Doug Armstrong. That is coming up on the other side of the break. I think you're going to want to hear this. That's next here on Balloon Party 101 ESPN. Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Munganess Burkhardt Alton Toyota allows you to go shopping right now from wherever you are for a new or pre-owned vehicle by going to stlouisacura.com or altontoyota.com. And if you have a question, a request, a comment, you can text them. You can call them at a number that they have set up for our listeners exclusively. The number is 314-252-0029. It's Munganess St. Louis Acura and Munganess Burkhardt Alton Toyota, presenting sponsor of Balloon Party on 101 ESPN, and official automotive provider of TMA as well, and the Tim McKernan Show podcast. I've gotten to know them very well and think very highly of Jamie Burkhardt and Peter Munganess at the dealership, and then Ryan Seiberg in the service department. stlouisacura.com, altontoyota.com for new, for pre-owned vehicles, and to get your car serviced even if you didn't get it from Munganess. St. Louis Acura, Munganess Burkhardt, Alton Toyota. It's Munganess, stlouisacura.com, and altontoyota.com. Well, Jackson, you're right. Good morning, Grant was just in here, and maybe the microphones picked it up. And we were discussing the 101 ESPN fantasy draft last night, which you weren't invited to.
No, not the case.
Did you participate?
I bowed out. It's called the Great Consolidation.
Wow, rolls off the tongue so much so that there was a second pause in there.
Well, I almost messed up. The Great... I can't. There's like that thing where your head's moving, but your mouth won't follow. The Great Consolidation. I had to kind of...
Can Greg come in here? Because I think Jackson's having a stroke on here.
Who's burning toast? No, I'm just, I'm done. I was in 3 leagues last year and I hated it. You're always rooting against yourself because...
So you walk away from your 101 brethren. That's very interesting. I wonder what that's about.
I couldn't get out of my league in Florida because the keeper league.
Oh, my Florida league. My South Florida
trust me,
league.
That's the league
with my fellow billionaires.
I'd like to be out of the most.
Well, then why didn't you get out of it?
Because it's
a contract.
It's hard because if I'd have to find someone to take. It's like I have to find someone as tribute, and I don't want to do that. That's too hard of a thing. And the people
it's a fantasy league.
I know. That's why it bothers me. Either way, I'm tired of too many leagues, so I don't really care about that league that much. So I'm just like, I'll make the roster. But my league with my college friends is the league I care about. Talk a lot of crap in there. It's great. That's the league I care about. I'm done having too many teams. You know, I got A.J. Brown catches a touchdown, but I'm playing against Jalen Hurts in another league. I can't win. Then I got like the Ravens -3. The Eagles are beating them. I can't win. So I'm done with that.
So this is the Great Consolidation.
Yeah, it's the return to victory. I need to focus. I have to focus on one league.
Sounds like you weren't invited.
I'm a great fantasy football player, but
so
not if I'm spread too thin. That's a better question for Commissioner Brandon Kiley.
I didn't know Good Morning Grant was picked. Good Morning Grant came in here and said I picked the players that he was getting ready to pick, which I consider a great compliment.
Yeah,
Good Morning Grant's a sharp
and a great guy. He just comes in here and brings such good energy.
And then I feel like I kind of dunked on him, but I wasn't trying to. I didn't know what the order was in the draft.
Ah, gotcha.
If you're not on HD2, I don't really talk to you.
That's right. We little people.
Right. Well, it was awkward.
But spiritually.
Thank you.
Physically.
So number 1 took McCaffrey.
That's the play.
And then I was 3. And I was like, man, I want CD Lamb. But I figure whoever this guy is who's not on HG2.
Right, of course.
Is going to take CD Lamb. And then they took Tyreek Hill.
Reek.
And we had a celebration in the Southside Seaman draft room. Unbelievable. Pop bottles.
Took CD.
Yeah. So I took CD at 3.
I like CD.
Well, then you'd like the Southside Seaman.
I'll root for the Southside Seaman.
Thank you very much. We're a force. We're a tradition. We're the Alabama Crimson Tide of fantasy sports.
Little foam finger.
That's right.
Seaman.
Nice. How am I going to explain that to my kids?
It's your name, bro.
Jackson, do we have a question rooted in this audio from Doug Armstrong with Cam Jansen and Andy Strickland?
I'm going to let the audio ask the question itself.
All right. Well, I will set the stage because the first part of the answer involves 2 people. My guess is you have no idea who they are.
Yeah, it's guarantee.
Mike Madano.
Mike McDaniel coaches the Dolphins. Tyreek Hill.
I understand. That's an Irish gentleman who's in South Florida coaching football. This is a gentleman who played ice hockey.
Oh, okay. Got it. Mike Madano.
You don't know Mike Madano. You really don't. I'm actually going to call.
Madano know him.
Dallas Stars captain.
Okay. I know that team.
Hoisted the chalice.
In what year?
99. Brett Hull, skate, crease.
Okay. Got it.
Sore subject in Buffalo.
I was alive then, so maybe I should know it. Mike Madano.
Either way, Doug Armstrong was asked by Cam Jansen and Andy Strickland 2 moves he regrets in his career. And the first one, he goes into detail on Mike Madano, who I guess for apparently the vast majority of the audience is a complete stranger, if you are representative of the vast majority of the audience.
No, I am not. I'm a party of one.
And they were moving Brendan Morrow, who I'm sure you're familiar with because, of course, he...
Vic Morrow's son.
Spent time with the Blues.
Okay.
And in what became Anarchy, did a co-captaincy.
Oh, yeah, that probably didn't play well.
And he said that was a miss. I missed that one. And then the second part of his answer was this.
Not being able to figure out petrol. It just seemed it just seemed too easy to end up where it ended up. And again, Petro's another guy I got a ton of respect for, because I do understand that any success I've had as part of a group, it's the guys, like, no matter how much I think I'm involved in that, I go home and I don't have a sore on me. My legs aren't sore. My knees aren't sore. I didn't break an arm. I didn't get punched in the face. Like, I understand who does the work in an organization. It's the guys on the ice. And I just think with Petro, if I could have found a way, if I could go back in time and find a way to make that work, I would have done it.
Why didn't it work?
I don't want to get into it, like, because he's still playing and I'm still working, and I just know that I've worked with Petro. Like the next year I was doing the Olympics and we had to name our core guys, and I named as one of the core guys because I the respect I have for the guy is unbelievable, and he's still chugging along and doing a hell of a job. I just it didn't work, and I'm disappointed in it because there's not quite honestly a time I go by and I see those statues out in front of the arena and doesn't cross my mind he should have had one. But so you asked, there you go.
How about that? That's a great answer.
Real emotion in there.
Yeah, that reflection that he expresses when he walks past those statues outside the Enterprise Center, which, in case you're not aware, is where the Blues play.
Where Mizzou and Illinois play basketball.
The Blues play.
Yeah.
And then also to acknowledge that he regrets it.
Yeah.
I think, now I'm sure there may be plenty of people who are listening to it and going, then why didn't you get it done? But I think it shows maturity, confidence, take your pick, whatever, to express that. And then also, it's not like, oh, let me say this because it'll sound good. I mean, he kind of humanized it by dialing in when he walks past those statues. He's like, yeah, he should have one.
Yeah.
The domino effect that was that decision or lack thereof, and it began immediately with the guy we reported on yesterday, or Jeremy Rutherford did, and then we just plagiarized it and aggregated it with Torrey Krug's surgery. What a moment. What a moment in Blues history. And I could be off on this, so I want to make this clear. This all surrounds the non-movement clause, the no-movement clause that Armstrong wouldn't give. And perhaps I'm wrong, because all of this, you heard Andy Strickland, that was Andy Strickland asking, well, what did happen? And he declined to elaborate. But it makes it sound like when he said, I'm still involved and he's still playing, that if/when they're both done, maybe they'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So we can add that to the Tony La Russa, Ozzie Smith, and John Mozeliak, Mike Schilt, What Really Happened, podcast that I'll be producing in 2035.
Right. Year 36 of greatness.
Year 36 of greatness as I close in on 50 years, like Jim Nantz at Augusta National. That he did not want to give that no movement clause. But if you're Pietrangelo and you're negotiating before you hit the open market, then you are not looking for every last dollar. Because if you want every last dollar, you go to the open market. When you have competing franchises going back and forth to get you to whatever it is. So therefore, with Alex Pietrangelo, who still spends a portion of his offseason in St. Louis, his wife was a St. Louis Rams cheerleader. They could be here, I would think. They're listening to this right now. Probably because of me, honestly, not because of you. I think the Madonna thing was probably alarming.
I think they were in before that. And that's what set them off.
I think then they said, all right, let's see what 1380 the woman has on.
25 years of greatness.
So, okay, this is my priority.
Yeah.
I don't want to get in a spot where I'm exposed to an expansion draft when I'm in the latter portions of my career and our kids are growing up here. I don't want to get exposed to you squeezing me and sending me the minors, So therefore, take care of me here, and you're going to get a bit of a discount on what I'm going to get on the open market.
Right.
And they wouldn't do it. And then the dominoes began to fall.
Right.
And so, alas, here we are. But I appreciate him acknowledging it.
Yeah, I mean, for every time you know, like we talk about why people in St. Louis have such reverence for Doug Armstrong and why he has so much credibility. Like for every one, you know, soundbite where he talks about I would do that to my mother with the offer sheet thing in Edmonton, you also have to be like willing to admit that you messed up in something like the Pietrangelo deal. And I think that those two things go hand in hand. You can't just have one without the other. And that just goes to say that Doug Armstrong is really, really good at messaging, like really, really good at messaging.
Yeah, that's essentially exactly right. Because, you know, as somebody texted here from the 314 in the Air Comfort Service text box, he said he told us all what we already know, and yet that's exactly what we needed to hear. Mm-hmm. You know,
perfect way of saying it.
Yeah, that's really an astute and concise text on the part of the listener, because that's it. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't, you know, I think what it speaks to is, if you want to like delve into this, which has essentially been one of the models of balloon parties since its inception 30 months ago, and there's going to be a big party coming up for our 30-month anniversary, which was 3 months ago.
Yep.
And that's going to be at the Red Robin, because we want bottomless fries.
Bottomless fries, yeah, milkshakes.
That emotion resonates with sports fans, and understandably so, because the sports fans' currency is emotion.
Yeah.
And so you want it reciprocated, whether it be in your athletes or in your executives.
Yeah.
And so that is why a guy like Mark Cuban, who most people probably have no idea what he does or did do in order to accumulate his wealth, is beloved as a sports franchise owner, because he's down there acting like a lunatic, like many people in the stands are, emotionally attached to it. And like the guys in bow ties, and that's not limited to John Mozeliak, but who are more analytics, that might be what you got to do behind the scenes, because that is, you can't sit there and scream and talk about officials screwing you over in the boardroom.
No.
Because everybody else in the boardroom is going to go, okay, we got to do an executive order and remove this guy. But when you're talking to the fans, have it come off as, or be honest and emotional. Yeah. And then so that resonated, and it's exactly right. I think some of the people in the audience would like you to have maybe a moment of recognition on your failure from about 10 minutes ago on Mike Modano, and I want to give you the floor to do that.
I apologize to Mike Modano, I guess. I'm not going to apologize to any listeners because I don't know who he is.
But, I mean, he is one of the greatest American-born players.
Yeah, okay. Well, if he was really that great, shouldn't I have known about him?
Well, is that a reflection on you or Mike Modano?
That's the question. Yeah, that's
but yet I feel like I have the answer. I feel like I have the answer. I don't think the question's that difficult.
I'm not going to blame Madonna, you know. Right. I just found out about his existence. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do people know about Anthony Tolliver out there? A great shooter. Played for the Hawks, right? Yeah, he played for the Hawks.
Madonna was the best player in backyard hockey, Jackson. You're only 3 years younger than I am. Did you even have a childhood? That's from the 913. Is that Lawrence? Lawrence, Kansas? Rock Chalk?
Yeah, makes sense. They'd send that text in. Anthony Tolliver's from Springfield, Missouri. Look at that. I feel great. I went to Creighton. I went to Kickapoo. Anthony Tolliver. No, my childhood was filled with basketball. The sport of kings.
Does Petro listen while he is training in Edmonton? That's from the 314.
To do anything to distract you from, he might as well be in Antarctica.
He was in the Mighty Ducks movie, Jackson, asshat. That's from the 618.
Okay. I don't know.
Emilio Estevez, who was in Stakeout with the delightful Richard Dreyfuss, who took his surname Y.
Julia Lee. I don't know anything. I didn't really watch the Mighty Ducks.
What about Stakeout?
Miss Stakeout. Emilio Estevez, now his brother, Charlie Sheen, also a great athlete in movies with
Half
Major
brother
League.
or brother?
Pretty sure they're full brothers.
No, right?
I think so.
That's
he just
fun.
chose to go with, their name is Estevez. Charlie and Martin Sheen, that's their stage name. Even though Charlie and Martin look like exactly alike, and Emilio does not look as much like them. So maybe they are half siblings.
All right. Well, we'll do a deep dive on that.
I hope
Charlie
so.
Sheen is going to join us in the next segment.
But in like Apocalypse Now, Martin Sheen looks just like Charlie Sheen, and vice versa. It's pretty crazy.
Marlon Brando.
Yeah, they hurled Martin Sheen off a roof and departed. Spoiler
alert.
Spoiler alert.
My God.
Yeah, it's really a shame.
Yeah, that you spoiled the film for people.
Oh, damn near 20 years after the fact.
Oh, what they did to my boy. Wonderful.
Jimmy Kahn.
All right, now we'll take a break, come back with the Charlie Sheen interview and Jackson's trivia for the Bud Bash tickets at 10:45. Get ready. The category is U.S. presidents. Mm-hmm. Boy, I hope you don't take like a stand.
Oh, no.
Because I might be on. All right.
No.
All right.
Tune into my podcast for all
in
that.
The Van Buren or Fillmore era. That's fine.
It's
James K. Polk.
No, I will not be. This will not be an opportunity to speak on 8 topics.
All right, fair enough. 314-399-9646. This is the Mike Madonna Show. Happy birthday to James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. And I think everybody should call him right now at 314-961-4800 to wish him a happy birthday. He is a delight, and he loves those Missouri Tigers. Very involved in the NIL, as well as just being a huge fan. He went to the Murray State game. He's going to the Buffalo game. He's going to the Boston College game. He's going to the Vanderbilt game. He's going to College Station. They brought back Power. Did you see that for the intro?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a big deal down there.
I like that.
Didn't work, though. I don't know if he's going to do the trip to see the foliage in Amherst. But either way, James Carlton's a big Missouri fan, and he's my insurance agent, and I think the world of the man. 314-961-4800 or go online at carltoninsurance.net. That's James Carlton. His office is in Webster Groves, but he can take care of you all throughout the area. Matter of fact, Gabe DeArmond, who he sponsors every Friday here on Balloon Party, just switched to James Carlton, and the Colonel lives in Columbia, Missouri, as you might expect. It's James Carlton, 314-961-4800 or go online at carltoninsurance.net.
This is Action Jackson. This Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals win yesterday, defeating the Brewers 7-4. They try to win the series tonight, 6:40 p.m. Your first pitch against the Brewers. That was another Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Welcome back. It's Balloon Party 101 ESPN, and we have a trivia question now from Jackson Bennett Burkett. Get ready, 314-399-9646. That's how you can text in your answer. And the first person to text in the correct answer, I mean, you got to be quick. This is like Jeopardy with the buzzer. You got to be in quick. So have it ready. Have the number 314-399-9646 at the ready. The first person to text in the correct answer wins 4 tickets for the Budweiser Bash next Tuesday between the Cardinals and the Reds. Some people are calling it an NLCS preview. Jackson, it is now time for your query.
Indeed, indeed. Which U.S. president was nicknamed Big Bill? Which U.S. president was nicknamed Big Bill?
I think I got the answer. I'm going to text it over to Jackson because I don't want to give it away. Jackson, I'm texting you the answer.
Okay, Tim, I'm taking a look at the text line as well, so send those in.
Okay.
Big Bill, which U.S. president? Oh, we have the answer in. The 618 got it correct.
And what do we have?
The answer is William Howard Taft.
Big Bill.
Big Bill.
You thought people were going to say Bill Clinton. That's
and people are in the Air Comfort Service.
So you're delighted that you tricked the audience. That's what this show is all about. You baiting and switching. Come on and listen to Balloon Party, where we don't know who Mike Madonna is.
Cut the promo now. I'll run that this afternoon.
Bill Marsh said Clinton in the YouTube chat.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. But it wasn't necessarily like, first of all, if you listen to TMA, you know,
Tiny PP, I guess, got it right. He says, "Where's my tickets?"
Air Comfort Service text line. I think that was made pretty clear to you. That the name Bill on TMA has there's a lot of love for the name Bill on TMA. And so when I saw like which president was nicknamed Big Bill, I was like, oh my God. And immediately thought, I was like, oh, it's probably Bill Clinton. Nope. William Howard Taft, who was in fact a large gentleman.
And passed away or got stuck in a bathtub?
You believe he got stuck in the bathtub. Yeah. William Henry Harrison is who died because he didn't wear a jacket at his inauguration.
Yeah,
and then died of the
brief
cold.
run.
Yeah. To me, that seems like a wives' tale. The thing about him not wearing a jacket.
You don't think we have medical records?
I don't think, like they say that cold weather doesn't necessarily give you a cold. It's because you're inside more, therefore your germs are more easily spread because everyone's inside. So I don't know if I buy that because he didn't wear a jacket at his inauguration that he was then got a cold and
died.
I think
somebody was just fashion shaming him because, like, at your clubs, you need to wear a sport coat around.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And we have like a bank of them where you have to, 42 long. That's what I am. 42 long.
42 long. You don't have any for smaller people because you don't want smaller people's genes infecting the pool?
All we have is 36 shorts or 48 short. So hope you like either swimming in it or you can't even move. So tall people only. Anthony Tolliver.
Joe, let's see what we got. I texted into not sure how I didn't win. That's from your mom's boyfriend.
This is like, I don't get this.
Well, he's mad, so explain it to him. I mean, do you not value the listeners?
I absolutely do. But you have no idea if you texted it in first or not. We're only the only ones privy to the information.
The Tafts are still coming in.
As they should. People are recognizing W.H. Taft.
Big Bill, William Howard Taft, and they're going to the Bud Bash.
What do you think makes a person want to have their middle name included in like their whole thing? It's like only like people who try to assassinate presidents and presidents are the only ones who get like called by their full name like that.
And former Indiana basketball coach Robert Montgomery Knight.
People call it, I guess you sometimes go by Timothy Michael McKernan.
I do.
Yeah.
Because my father's name, we have different middle names, and therefore I'm not a junior.
Right.
And it's caused confusion.
Mm-hmm. Even though sometimes you refer to him as senior, vice versa.
People refer to him as senior and me as junior, so I get Rich Gould. If Rich Gould says it, then I'm going to...
Right. He call you anything.
Yeah, you're damn right.
Yeah.
I interned for the man.
You had a big knot in your tie?
When I went to interview for my internship at KPLR in the summer of '97, and you were probably an embryo.
Yeah.
Not
even.
I was wearing a tie, and he was not happy that I wore a tie, and he said, "Furthermore, that knot is as big as my prostate."
Always makes me laugh. That and what do you call shrimp?
Candy of the sea. He has a way to humanize things.
That's so funny.
So I didn't think my knot on my tie was particularly egregious.
No. But
And I mean, candidly, I don't know the size of Rich Gould's prostate either. However, based on that sentence, I was able to deduce two things. A, my knot was too big, and B, he has an enlarged prostate.
Yeah, go to the urologist.
Right.
Quickly. Oh, my God. The gift that keeps on giving. Rich Gould.
Amen. All right, Jackson, we have one more segment. This is what you're going to be your observation deck?
Yeah, we can go with that or the Drinkwitz stuff.
Yeah, I want to hear the Drinkwitz thing.
Yeah, we can do that.
Well, I mean, why don't we have a plan? How about that?
The plan was to do it now.
Well, I'm sorry. We played wonderful sound, and I gave my opinion. And then we had an unfortunate incident in which one of the greatest American-born hockey players wasn't recognized by half the dais.
That's what threw a wrench in this whole thing is Madonna.
Right.
If had his name not come up.
They're going to play this audio in Dallas, and they're going to make their way up here. They're unhappy about Nelson Cruz is playing right field.
They're unhappy that their best athlete in the town can't play defense.
Who are we going after now?
Mr. Hefty, Luka Doncic.
Do you think that's what they're unhappy about? So they're going to come to St. Louis.
Maybe their golden boys causing them big issues.
What about CD's new deal?
Take Jerry Jones for every penny he has. I'm so on board with CD Lamb for that.
Nice.
Literally take him for every penny he has.
Yeah, we almost had a chance here, but we slayed a dragon instead.
Sure did.
All right, time for us to break. It's Balloon Party, 101 ESPN. Welcome back to Balloon Party 101 ESPN. Tim McKernan, Jackson Burkett with you here on the program. Jackson, we have 5 minutes left. What are you going to do with them?
I guess I'll play this sound about Eli Drinkwitz. From Eli Drinkwitz about this college football. It's not about Mizzou necessarily. It's about the state of college football and something I think that's overlooked a little.
Okay.
Take on it is twofold. I think one, with the ability of the portal to take top tier talent from lower divisions, I think you're seeing some of that result. I think some of the schools that in the past would have had, have developed some of those players, no longer have those guys. They're playing up at different schools. And then I think the next thing you're seeing is the need for us as coaches to see as many guys play as possible, as long as possible. And so, I saw where Coach Kiffin talked about he didn't even consider reducing the quarters. And I'm with him 100%. I mean, we got to have our guys play, and we got to get as many quality reps because that's how you develop, And so I think you're seeing guys who need to let their 2s and 3s play and play at a high level. And when you play to win the game. Take on.
Could have done a little work on the editing on the out point there.
Could have, didn't. But I think it is interesting. I mean, you had Auburn play a college football team where they...
damn Eagle.
In the second half, they agreed to play 10-minute quarters. Like, this is Pop Warner football. Like, that's ridiculous. That just can't happen. So there either needs to be a situation where they get rid of cupcake games in total, which I think would involve going into total divisions, where the only games that matter or the only games that you even play are against other Power 4, I guess now, schools. Or don't play them because there's no reason. Like, it's a little, not insulting is the wrong word. That's very take-smithy. But it is kind of ridiculous that, Auburn played a team where they agreed to play 10-minute quarters in the second half.
So they changed the rule midway through the game?
No, apparently that's always been a rule. They just rarely ever do it.
That they have the option if it's so
lopsided.
Out of hand?
Yeah, if both coaches agree to it.
Wow.
Which is crazy to me. Crazy.
I enjoyed the explanation as to why these games were so out of hand this week, which then kind of brings me back to, I know probably most people in the area aren't necessarily thinking about Oregon football. Perhaps some more are thinking about Michigan, but I think most would also agree that Fresno State is further ahead as a program than Idaho.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Idaho's home building? Wow.
Where the Vandals play?
Yes. Have you ever seen it?
Is it like a dome?
Kind of.
We'll look it up.
It's something else. Either way, that team was in the mix to beat Oregon this weekend.
Who's the third ranked team?
And Michigan was having their hands full with Fresno State, but it's a different operation than most of these, Murray State-ish schools and whatever the hell Auburn was playing. And I think Drinkwitz's observation is right on target. If you are one of the great players at that level now, it's like a feeder system. It's a farm team.
Totally.
It's a farm team for the big boys. And in a way, the SEC and the Big Ten are pillaging other big-time schools.
Right.
And as we've seen it both with Missouri, and we've seen Missouri lose some players to big-time schools, too. But you saw Dominic Lovett go from Missouri to Georgia and then play against Missouri last year. He's probably going to get more snaps this year. So... here's the deal. I don't have a solution for it. I recognize that it is an issue. I suppose if everybody is playing one of these games,
right,
it's kind of the equalizer.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy it.
Right.
It doesn't entertain me. I wasn't like, I can't, like my wife said last Thursday, all excited for the start of the season. I'm like, if they were playing even Boston College, and that's before Boston College beat Florida State, I'm like, that'd be different. But this is just kind of okay.
Yeah.
I'm not like excited when the Cardinals play the Marlins for the first time out of 10 times in Jupiter.
Right.
It's how I view it. It's the same kind of thing. It's like it tells me it's close, but this isn't it.
Right.
Missouri's in a weird spot this year because their first 2 games are probably both blowout games.
Right.
But then it's going to get real in week 3 now.
I'm looking at the Idaho.
I can't believe Boston College didn't get ranked.
Yeah, that's crazy.
By the way.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm looking at the Idaho Vandals Stadium.
Mm-hmm. You're impressed. I assume they still play in that dome, right?
I guess you can call it a dome. The risk management's through the roof. There's a wall right behind the end zone.
Woo-hoo!
There's a brick wall right behind it's like when they play at Yankee Stadium. Like they're on the wall there. It looks like LaSalle's basketball gym.
It's quite a facility, and it nearly took down the number 3 team in the country, a darling for national championship.
I mean, they've got like a TV they got from Costco and put it up as a scoreboard.
Now Jackson's attacking Costco.
No, I'm a staunch supporter.
All right, time for us to go. Ladies and gentlemen, BK and Ferrari are up next. For Jackson Bennett Burkett, for Mike Madonna, I'm Tim McKernan. This has been Balloon Party, driven by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess Burkhardt, Alton Toyota on 101 ESPN.